Welcome back. Our sponsors at PB Elder Law want you to know it's never too late to protect your assets if you're planning for long-term care. And I'm joined now by one of the partners of the firm to tell us more about how they can help you through this process. Welcome, Dan Schuler. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. Let's start off by talking about what you do at PB Elder Law and the legal services that you provide for our community seniors.
Sure. So we provide a variety of services, predominantly estate planning and elder law. So that could be basic documents like your will, your power of attorney, and your healthcare proxy. Do more advanced planning like the use of revocable and irrevocable trusts. We help families after a loved one has passed through the estate administration process. And then a big part of our practice is helping people protect assets from Medicaid in the event they need long-term care.
So what do people need to be mindful of when planning for long-term care?
So with nursing home planning, what we're concerned with is there's a 5-year look back. So starting the planning early is really what's critical. So most people that are coming to see us are between 65 and 75 to start that planning process, really with the objective of starting to get assets out of their name. Because now long-term care costs in Erie County, if you're in a nursing home, typically $15,000 to $21,000 per month.
Wow.
So the primary payor source we're looking to is Medicaid, but that's an eligibility-based program. So in order to minimize the amount of assets that have to be spent to get on that program, people are coming to us with the idea of starting to get things out of their name, hopefully more than 5 years in advance.
That makes sense. Okay. So let's talk about Medicaid planning and how that really can help with avoiding financial devastation.
So again, it's an eligibility-based program. So a lot of times what we're using, kind of the gold standard for planning, is an irrevocable trust, where we're starting to have clients move assets out of their name into a trust to start a 5-year look back for Medicaid. If the asset is owned by the trust for more than 5 years before they require long-term care, it's no longer deemed available to pay for their care. So now that's a big planning mechanism where we're sheltering maybe a house or other investment accounts that the client doesn't touch, so that we minimize the amount that would have to be spent down at the end. Even if at the end, though, it's critical to understand there is last-minute planning that can be done. So oftentimes clients will come to us after it's too late because they were told you have to spend everything.
Yeah.
That's not true. Even on the last minute of going in, we can oftentimes save about 40 to 50% of their excess money. So it's really critical if a client, family, loved one going into rehab, call us right away.
Okay, alrighty. Let's talk about how your help brings peace of mind to families and, especially for those elderly loved ones.
So you always hear about the horror stories where the planning hasn't been done, and now the families at the end are fighting or there's unnecessary legal expenses. What we try to do at our firm is create a plan earlier on with the clients so that the family has peace of mind that upon passing, everything is to be handled exactly the way the client wants. And again, our planning often involves avoiding needing to go through the court system. Because when an individual passes away with assets in their name alone, with no beneficiary, we end up in probate, and that process can be about 1 to 2 years on average, whereas if we do advanced planning, we can often eliminate the need for that.
Okay. So would you say if people, obviously, the goal right now with this segment is getting people to come to you early and thinking of it in advance, but when people do happen to pass and they're worrying about that, can they also come to you?
Correct. So anything related to estate planning and elder law, our firm can assist you with. So, there's obviously different generations are doing different planning. And oftentimes people think, well, I need to have a lot of assets to have a trust. That's not true. Again, it could be just a house that we're looking to protect. The goal, though, is to give us a call. We'll sit down with you. We'll evaluate your goals and your objectives, and then we'll come up with a plan.
Alrighty, Dan. Thank you so much for coming in, giving us great tips, and really making it comprehensible about what's going on and how we should start planning for the future.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Of course, viewers, for more information on how you can protect your assets and plan for long-term care, visit our sponsor's website at pbelderlaw.com. Again, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.